What is going on, everybody? Harrison from pythonprogramming.net with another tutorial for the new Boston. Where we left off, we're working on our Pygame here. We can go left, right, up, and down. We can crash into our barriers. But obviously our code is a little messy. Most importantly, right now at this point, we don't have a game loop, so to speak. So that's what we're going to fix up in this one. Also, obviously the message to screen was no good. I mean, it just idled there for 2 seconds and went away. We really need basically two handling. So one is a handling for just a game over, and then there's a game exit, right? So game over doesn't necessarily mean game exit. Right now it does, and we don't really want that. So now what we're going to do is we're going to convert to a game loop, so to speak. So right above while not game exit, we'll define game loop and empty parameters. Now, highlight everything from this while not game exit all the way to the bottom and just hit tab. And what that's going to do is it's going to tab over that and all of that code. And so for anyone who's not familiar, you can highlight blocks of code and you can hit tab and that moves them over. And conversely, if you want to move them back, you can hold control and then the opening square brackets, which is this right here, right? So control plus that, and that will move the code over. So once we've done that, now we've got game loop, and then in theory what we should be able to do is just call game loop down here. So we would say game loop. So we call game loop to run, and that's it. But we do have to move down any variables that we intend to change, because right now these variables are acting almost like constants. So that's okay, we can reference these variables, but we can't actually change these variables. So anything that we don't need to change, we can leave up here. So like white, black, red, that's not going to change, so we can leave that up there. In theory, we can let display width and height change like down the road, but for now, we'll leave that right there. But what can change is game exit, right? Lead X and Y can change. Lead X change, lead Y change can change. And then the rest of this stuff we won't be changing. So highlight all that, Control X to cut it, and then we'll come down into game loop, and then we'll paste it in, and then we're going to have to tab some of this stuff over again. So we'll just tab that over, and now we have all of the necessary variables, or at least we should. So let's go ahead and save and run that really quick and make sure that worked out. Okay, so we've got our little guy, he's able to move. Now let's crash. You lose. Go outside, you fool. Oh man. Okay, so so we got that working. And now we've got plenty of time, so I think we can go ahead and add the next thing I would like to add. So right now we've got the displaying of the message to screen, where really like what would be nice is to have some sort of like game over functionality. So what we would do instead is, so like when we run this and we run off the screen, it just says this message, but maybe the person would like to play again. So like what if the player wants to play again? So we've got game exit equals false, and then we should also probably have a game over and then start that as equal false. And then instead of like this will still stay true, but then we'll have like, okay, so you've got while not game exit. So this game over question should still occur under while not game exit, but then we need another loop that's going to be while game over equals, and in this case true. So we're going to say while game over equals true. We want to run a specific block of code. So while game over is true, we want to do a few things. First of all, we're going to go game display dot fill, and we're going to fill the background with white. Then we're going to send a message to the screen, and we're going to say message to screen. And the message is going to be game over, press C to play again, or Q to quit. Okay, so we'll do that, and we'll make the color here, we'll make it red, and come back down here. Let me fix this. Okay, and so that's our message to screen, and then we want to go ahead and do pygame.display.update so we can see that message. Whoops. So we can see that message, and then finally we're gonna have an event loop, right? Because just like down here, we're having an event loop for the actual game. the game over is kind of like a sequence, right? And then we also have like main menu that can be a sequence as well. So game over, press C to play again, or Q to quit, update, and then we're going to come down here and we're going to do basically the same thing we've done here. So we're going to ask for event in pygame.event.get, and then we're going to say if event.type equals pygame.keydown in all caps, and then we're going to ask if event.key equals pygame.K_Q, that's quit, right? So if that is quit, then we're going to say, well, we have a few things to say. First of all, we want to say game exit equals true, and then game over has to equal false. So if we never said it, it would be really easy to be like, okay, well, if event key is quit, then we just run game exit equals true, right? No, because this is a while loop. So we already asked while not game exit, and now we're in this while loop. So this while loop will run indefinitely until game over is false. So we have to set game over equals false in order for this game exit equals true to trigger and exit the game for us. So just keep that in mind. Now we have to handle our other event, which is C, to play again. So if event.key equals pygame.K_C, what do we want to do? Well, we want to run the game loop, right? We just want to run that function over again, which so it just reverts back to itself basically. So we run game loop and it all starts over again. So basically we're calling game loop within game loop. So kind of an interesting thing there. But anyway, so now that should all be good. Oh, well, we'll get rid of this too. We'll get rid of this, basically all of this right here. We'll get rid of this. Let's see. I don't think we need any of these 3 lines right here. So we'll get rid of that, because the other stuff we've already been updating. Okay. So let's save that, run it, see how well that works out. Syntax error, what an amateur. If event.type double equals, whoops, double equals still. And I think that's the only one, so let's run that again. And so now we have our game here. We can move around and we'll hit the wall. We just got a straight exit. Let's see. Oh, I know what we did. So we didn't set game over equals true when we fail. So right now it's just game exit equals true. In reality, we need to call this game over equals true like that. So let's run that one more time. Okay, playing, and boom. So now it says game over. Press C to play again or Q to quit. So let's press C, and look at that. We reset and we're ready to play again. And now let's try Q. We'll press Q, and that's it. So the game exits. So now we have, like, you know, a game over versus game exit, which is absolutely necessary. It's not the prettiest. So again, that message. Remember how we centered that message? That was a great idea, wasn't it? But here's the problem: is we centered as according to the top left of the, basically when you put a text object, even though it doesn't look like it to you, or maybe you can visualize it at least, there's actually a rectangle around the text object. And so when it goes to center that text object, it's going to center as anything else would by the upper left corner. So in this case, that upper left corner of G is perfectly centered, but as you can see, the message is like way over to the right. So that's not, I mean, that doesn't look the best. So we're going to fix that too in the future. But anyway, the functionality is there. So first I kind of wanted us to just at least get the functionality down, and then we can worry about some more of the aesthetics and stuff like that. But we'll get to that, don't worry. So anyway, that's it for this tutorial. I hope you guys enjoyed. As always, thanks for watching, and stay tuned to the next video.